Hello IGTV, welcome to How We Made It, which is a working title. I'm still considering my options. My name is Tida, co-artistic director of State. I am so excited to be on camera. No, I'm dying! I also do a bunch of other random stuff for State, which includes the graphics and poster design. So this episode, I will be answering the top 8 questions on how we made our posters. Question 1. Do you shoot them yourself or do you get other photographers? That would be me usually. My favorite day is photoshoot day. Maybe I secretly like it more than directing. I'm not really a genius on the DSLR, but I can take a picture. I can take a picture real good. And my actors are also incredibly generous when it comes to vulnerability, and being able to shoot that and then share that is incredible. So love you guys. We have recently started working with other cool photographers we admire. For example, Lina Karuvetil. She is a wonderful photographer of color. She just knows how to light them bodies in the space and understands what I mean when I say it's a bit dry, it's a bit ashy, a bit too bleak. Effie is another incredible photographer. She is like a wizard. You don't even realize she's working. The way she captures movement and motion makes our rehearsal room look so much more exciting than it is. Second question, where do you get your inspiration / ideas? Most importantly is grabbing the themes from the text we're exploring. It doesn't have to be a clear representation of what the story is, but it has to give a taste of the world we're trying to create using textures, materials, moods, all that jazz. I live on Pinterest. I have so many boards on dream concepts and materials I would like to use. I also grew up and still watch a lot of WWE. The way they use design to tell stories is just super cool. And it's all in their eyes, like it's in the eyes of the wrestler. They make everything uber dramatic and it makes you kind of like stop and stand still and really receive the design, which is so powerful. I just love the thought of pausing people's everyday. America's Next Top Model is also a good shout.
I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you? Learn something from this.
I remember watching the episode of the Living Photos and I was like, sick, I'm gonna make a video poster one day. And finally, I'm highly ambitious. So whatever seems impossible, it's on my list. Question 3, any advice on how to achieve ambitious designs with little money? I work with zero budget. Everything I use is begged, borrowed, or maybe even stolen. Top tips though, I can give some top tips. Top tip number 1, time. Time is essential. It just gives you more room for making mistakes and experimenting with the little that you've got. Second thing is ask for help. People are willing to help you if you need the support, so just ask for help. Third tip, which I don't know how useful this is, or obvious. Get creative. Yep, I know that's a bit obvious, but thinking outside and so far away from the box helps you get places you didn't think you would. Before I could borrow LED lights, I would use torches with quality street wrappers as gels. So just think about what you can do. Question number 4. What was the secret behind the wet, glassy look for an Odyssey? That was shot in my stage manager's bathroom. It's actually a bath screen, one of them bathy thingies. And we had the shower angled in a way so that it was hitting it like rain. For an Odyssey, I really wanted to play with water. Odysseus and his men spent a lot of time on sea looking for home. That was the inspiration for that shoot, which I came up with the night before, I think. And the shoot, it took about 3-4 hours. Question 5, how did you achieve the sandy look in the Gilgamesh posters? I think that was all lighting. I have to give a massive shout out to my LX designer, Brennan, who is another genius. I'm just surrounded by geniuses. I was like, Dan, I want to do a shoot and I need some lights. I had no idea what I was going to do for the design or the concept. It actually took 12 hours and so many attempts. We had this grey rubble, like rubber type of thing, that was meant to look like soil, but it was this horrible playground stuff. According to my investigation, I think it was the backlight that changed the colour and gave it a bit more depth. The actors were in the centre, and then we had a light behind them and one on either side, giving us these warm tones. And then we had these 4 LEDs giving us the contemporary textures and colours and pop. So we just did a lot of experimenting, starting with the actors buried in the rubber. Then we started playing with motion and movement of the rubber and landed on this image that looks like this contemporary resurrection of Gilgamesh. Love it. Next question, how long does the process take? Depends on the show, depends on how organized they are. We're never organized. Never. Gilgamesh was a 12-hour shoot. Made a lot of mistakes in that one, with 13 hours post because the editing was intense. Odyssey was about 3 or 4 hours with 5 hours post. You spend a lot of the first few hours playing and really figuring out what works. It's so instinctive though. I know exactly what I want as soon as I see it. Question 7, what programs / software do you use? Starting in Adobe Lightroom, so we're looking at highlight, saturation, exposure, all that jazz. Again, a lot of playing till I figure out the tone. Then we move to Adobe Photoshop for the graphics, you know, the fonts and all that stuff on top, as well as the polish. Video editing happens on Final Cut Pro or Premiere Pro. Adobe Premiere Pro. And finally, last question, how do you cast the models? We always use our beautiful cast because they are so much more prettier and cheaper. That is the end of our first ever How We Made It. I hope it was all useful. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit like, give us a follow, tell your friends, family, and I'll see you next time. Open brackets, working title, close bracket.